I've had a few of them call the setup therapy sessions, because this work is not easy all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like I've had my fair share of challenges as a business owner, and some days you're like, why the fuck am I doing this?
The countdown to FABTECH is on. FABTECH is the place to be for the latest and greatest technology, industry knowledge, networking, and more. Meet your favorite influencers, see live equipment demos, and make connections to advance your career. This is North America's largest metal forming, fabricating, welding, and finishing event, and you don't want to miss it. Register for free today at fabtechexpo.com, and I'll see you in Orlando.
Hello, welcome to the Fabricator Podcast. I'm Dan Davis, editor of the Fabricator magazine. My co-host today, Andy Flando.
Yeah, making his debut.
Making his debut as a co-host.
Yeah.
Well, this one, yes, thank you. I'm proud to be here.
Yes, we sent him off to co-host school and came back with flying colors.
It took 70 episodes for me to pass co-host school, but I did it. Yeah.
It's that stick-to-itiveness we like in our co-host.
Well, we couldn't get Rob Corddry, so we got the next best thing.
There you go.
His double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this episode, sorry to snip you. We need to work on that. Back to co-host school.
Yeah.
Today's episode, we have Emily Wilkins of Marketing Metal.
Again, she's our second time.
She's our first repeat guest.
Well, our second repeat guest, because we had the DeVitos on twice.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but she was our second guest ever. Yeah. When we were recording in the tight little closet in the office before we expanded. Yeah.
All right. I have a feeble mind.
I got you.
We continued our conversation about job shop marketing. She will actually be speaking at FABTECH for the second time. She's hoping to kind of take her marketing doesn't have to suck presentation and kind of morph that into a workshop, she said. So be on the lookout for that at FABTECH if you're attending in Orlando, Florida. What's the dates on that, Gareth? Andy?
14th, I believe it starts. That Tuesday. 14th, 15th, 16th?
Yeah, next week.
Tuesday, Wednesday?
15th through 17th.
15th, 16th, 17th of October.
We should all be on the same page here.
Griffin's on top of this.
There you go.
3-day show.
Griffin Hammond, shout out. Mr. Technical Producer, thank you, sir.
The keeper of our schedules, too.
Yes.
Now.
The serious one.
I only know it because it's 2 days after the Chicago Marathon is the 13th.
Yeah, Griffin is running the Chicago Marathon the day before he has to be at FABTECH in Orlando.
Yeah, Griffin, nothing beats running 26 miles and then go sit in on an airplane. You're going to feel really good when you go to stand up, I bet.
Are you doing anything strenuous before the trade show?
Yeah, I'm going down there 5 days before it starts. That's strenuous.
Yeah.
He's going to watch out for the snakes.
Yeah. I was about to say, a lot of bourbons and a lot of steak.
Yeah, no. A lot of customer time.
There you go.
Sure move-in goes smoothly, which I'm sure it will.
Face to face, got to. So, what are you looking forward to at this year's FABTECH?
So, first time ever in Orlando, FABTECH, Yep. So, excited about that.
We've consulted with NOAA. We're supposed to have cooler than usual temperatures.
Okay,
if
that's
the government
good.
can get their act together.
Yeah, that will be good. The show's really good. Our automation pavilion is sold out. Fab's sold out. We're pretty much sold out for the show. So we're really excited about it. We're going to have some great keynote speakers. Emily's doing a talk, I believe, in an education session, right?
Correct.
Yep.
She's part of our conference offering at FABTECH.
Yeah, we're going to have a beer garden.
Beer garden?
Yeah, we'll have the beer garden. And
don't we have an emerging leaders conference involved with FABTECH this year?
Yeah, we got the emerging leaders coming up there. That's new. So it's a whole session for up-and-coming leaders in the industry, in the fab and the other industries. So that's in addition to FABTECH this year. I'm trying to think what else is new outside of Orlando. With new location first. So.
And pre-registration looks to be
very strong. So stronger than the other Southeast location. We went to Atlanta. And pretty darn close to where Chicago was at about the same time. So
wow, yeah. So if you haven't made plans to attend FABTECH, consider doing so. We'd love to see you down there, particularly if you feel like you're an emerging leader.
Or 30. You have to be 35 or younger, which is most of our
or
listening.
Look young. I mean, are we really going to check IDs on this?
I don't know. I don't know who's in charge of that. Andy, are you in charge of that?
Emerging leader,
I think they
35
sold out.
or younger, or look 35 or younger.
Or Women of FABTECH. I believe that's sold out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sold out as in sold every ticket. It's
sold
still
every
legit.
ticket because they do a breakfast. Yeah.
That's good. That's a lot of activity. We'll also be at FABTECH recording some podcasts.
Yeah.
So feel free and stop by the booth, get a sticker.
Yeah. Yep.
Valuable stickers. Be worth a lot of money in the future.
Yes.
Probably be used for currency after the economy collapses. So anyway, I enjoy this episode and thank you.
If you're involved in the pipe and tube industry, you won't want to miss the Pipe and Tube Conference this November in Omaha, Nebraska. This event is an excellent opportunity to connect with industry experts, stay up to date with the latest technologies, and explore new business opportunities. You'll leave the conference with a wealth of knowledge and new connections to help your business succeed. So mark your calendar for November 13th and 14th and join us in Omaha for the Pipe and Tube Conference. Register today at fmamfg.org. And now, back to the episode.
Hello, welcome back to the Fabricator Podcast. Today's guest is Emily Wilkins, and I have a big smile from Gareth because
you said her name right.
Yeah, I hesitated because the last time we spoke with her, back the episode aired December 2022.
So that makes Emily special. Why?
She's our first repeat guest. Congratulations!
I feel so special.
You're gonna get your own series.
Yeah.
So
I've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Forever, actually, but yeah, getting closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the robust, maybe perhaps you could join the robust and growing Fabricator Podcast Network.
Ooh.
Yes.
Tell me more.
It is a growing
So
network.
we're doing this at IMTS. Emily was here to, tell everybody who you are, what you do, and why you're at IMTS.
Yeah, so my company is called Marketing Metal, and I help job shops mostly, machine shops, fabricators, a lot of custom equipment builders. I help them build an awesome brand and tell their story, because the work that they do is really cool, and people need to know about it. And they're great at what they do, and you would not know it from their websites.
Yeah.
And what brings you to IMTS?
Oh, I'm mostly here for the parties this time. No.
Including this one.
Yeah, including this one right here.
It says manufacturing's not fun.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Manufacturing
you got free
is fun.
water and stickers out of it.
Yeah.
Stickers.
Yeah. I left my water out there, but yeah.
Yeah, this is something else.
I might need it.
And I should... not Rob.
Rob. You almost called him Rob Cordry.
Rob Cordry, thank you for joining us today.
Doppelganger.
This is Andy Flando, publisher of The Fabricator, Rob Cordry lookalike.
Yes.
There you go.
A little bit heavier and taller.
Your digital twin.
Yes.
And since this is my
actually Andy was in Hot Tub Time Machine 3.
yeah. This is my second podcast as well, so we even have more in common.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
It took 70 podcasts before they would let me in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
you got to make them want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So last time we talked a little bit about your background, what it was like working with shops, and 2 years later, I'm thinking, do those shops still have as challenging of a website as maybe?
Oh yeah.
Some things haven't changed, right?
Oh yeah, no, there's still lots of shops out there that need our help. Yeah, there's no shortage of shops that are looking to. I mean, literally on my way in this morning, hadn't talked to anyone. I got off the train, which actually stopped here today for the first time I think I've ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know why.
The train comes here, but no one knows it because it's not the L.
Because it didn't. Like they had it only weekends for a while. Anyway, when I was getting off the train, there was a guy that was like.
So you came in from Michigan by train today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, they knew you were on it, so it's a special occasion.
I guess, yeah. He's a shop owner, and I just started talking to him. Ask him about his company, and he's like, "Oh, funny you should say that. We're just talking about we need marketing." And
did you sell a website?
Not yet.
Okay.
I will.
So from your standpoint, you approach, and we talked about this in the first episode, you approach these people with varying degrees of offerings depending on what they need.
Yeah.
And does that break down to like brand building, lead generation, or there other part? I think you call it set up, build out, things like that.
Yeah, you have good memory.
I do. It actually kind of makes sense as opposed to putting all that on their plate. You listen to them and kind of work with them to do what makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that seem to have that's obviously worked for you? You're still doing it that way.
Oh yeah,
correct?
yeah, it's great. I've had a few of them call the setup therapy sessions. They're like an hour and a half to 2 hour calls. We really deep dive on. I ask them the hard questions like, what keeps you up at night? What challenges you face in your day to day? What things piss you off about the industry? Ask them about their big dreams and hopes for their shop and for their personal life, because that's just as important. And I think so many of us, like, we're just like charging hard, working for the money, and we don't even stop to think like, why?
Right.
Like, what are we gonna do? I actually had like a journal exercise where I'm like, okay, if I had unlimited money and free time, like, what would I actually do with that?
You did that personally?
Yeah.
And what'd you come up with?
Yeah, I do it like often.
You're going to share what you would?
Yeah, I would spend more time with family, of course, spend more time doing the things I love, like being outside and giving away more of my time for free, because I like to do that. And
volunteer.
Yeah, volunteering.
Yeah. But in a way, your everyday life's kind of noble, working with people in this industry.
It is. And that is like, I feel very blessed to have that, and it drives me to, it motivates me to, because this work is not easy all the time, right? Like, I've had my fair share of challenges as a business owner, and some days you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? And then you just, I have an answer, like, these shops are important. They're doing vital work, and they fly under the radar so often, and they really are struggling to, to attract the right type of customers. So,
yeah. Do you have a feeling that most shops know they need to do it? They don't know like what exactly they need to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've been able to be in business this long without being able to answer that question. So,
yeah.
What's pushing them in that direction that they want to explore it a little bit more from a marketing standpoint?
Yeah, I think COVID really shifted the way people do business. Manufacturing is still there's still very much a handshake kind of a business. And I don't think that's going to change. And actually, I think that manufacturing can bring that to other industries and people that are out of the industry too. Like that personal connection is still really important, and we're losing that, right?
Yeah.
So I think it goes both ways. But yeah, I think there's a huge shift right now just in the age range of shop owners, right? Like, there's a lot of them retiring, and they're either selling or handing down to second or third generation. So and those new owners, want to like breathe new life into the business and modernize it, and a lot of them, like we were talking before the episode, like they have pictures from 1960 still, and they're not, they don't have their full capabilities listed and whatever. Like, they just, yeah.
Yeah. So Western Michigan, you have a lot of stamping and fab shops you're working with, I would assume, out that way?
Yeah, machine shops too.
Machine shops, of course, yeah.
Yeah, actually, we're huge in custom equipment building. So we have, like, automation is massive. So JR Automation, that was founded in Holland, and there are a ton of people who, like, started there and then left and started their own automation company.
Oh, wow.
So that's, like, really our core, and I have a couple customers locally that do that stuff. So.
And those are companies I would think would want something of a sophisticated looking. Automation has connotations. You know?
They do, and that's probably an easier sell.
Yeah,
I think they.
Have you come across a client, a customer that you got that didn't even have a website?
Yes.
Like a manufacturer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they're been in business one or two generations.
She's got one better than that. So in looking back, listening to the original conversation, my favorite part was you working with clients that had websites, but they didn't have access to it?
Yeah.
So
they couldn't make changes?
They paid someone to design it, but got locked out.
Yeah.
And they probably forgot who built it for them originally, right?
Yeah.
So they just suck.
Yeah. I actually had I had another client after that couldn't get access to their domain. Don't do that, guys. Have access to your domain. Like, if you don't know who owns your domain and where it is and like how to get to it, like take care of that.
Might be item number one on the to-do list.
But you can tell where their focus is on, right? The focus is on
Yeah.
making parts and running their shop
Yes.
and trying to build their business, and
Which
they
is
lose
great.
sight of that really important part of the business.
Yeah.
So is a lot of your work built around kind of the brand building part of it? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's always the first step, because most of them don't have that established, right? They don't have good photography. They don't have a good storytelling at all. And it's not enough to just list your capabilities, right? And some, like, you can't tell if they're selling equipment or if they're like using the equipment, because they have like equipment list. Like, people consume information differently now than they used to. I mean, they want to see a lot of movement and videos, and they as rational as we think we are as humans in our decision making, we make decisions. We're not, at all. We make decisions based on emotion. So, and if your website doesn't have any emotion or personality at all, that's a problem. And especially like in today's day of AI, right? Like, that's how we show people that we're a real thing, that like we're trustworthy and we're human and not like some bot and whatever.
Yeah.
So
is that something you have to be kind of careful with? Not that you would do it, but if left to the client to do it, hey, we need some copy for this. I've read a lot of that on the website, and you're wondering like, whoa, you're a little overboard on this. How do you strike that balance? Do you tell them to use it but edit it heavily, or stay away from it? Like,
I do not put that responsibility on my clients.
Okay.
Because I have not come across one shop owner yet that is a good writer, or that like wants to do that work, or has time to do that work, right? So that's one of the huge benefits of working with us, is like we get their we get what they're doing, and we get who their customers are, and
so you write the story, and then you maintain the sites for them if they want.
I think it's really important for them to have at least know how to get in and make a text change, if they need to, especially with like compliance things, with ISO and AS 9100, like they are checking websites to make sure that you're saying all the right things. And if you get dinged for something or whatever, like you got to be able to get in there and change it fast and say like, hey, changed it, right? So that's a really important part of our process, just like, giving them that, empowering them with that.
Yeah, empowering. Good word.
Yeah.
So photos, video, important. What else stands out as important for websites nowadays, given kind of the changes that have occurred, like Google and SEO rules and things of that nature?
Yeah. I mean, the certifications are important. Linking the certifications out to the certifying bodies are great.
Okay.
Linking to, like, if you're on a podcast like this one, linking out to the podcast, because those external links show, they show search engines that you're legit and that you're, you're referencing legit sources as well, right?
They could link to trade associations.
Link to trade associations. Exactly.
That's a
yes.
plug.
That is
for FMA.
Yes. But it's good for both parties, right? Like, you guys get the backlink and they get the kind of
people learn about Rob
legitimacy.
Rob
Corddry. Yeah.
But you said you asked about SEO, and I've been on this tirade about SEO because I hate the term because you're not optimizing for search engines. You're optimizing for the people using search engines.
Right.
Right. So just yesterday, my guy that's doing some writing content for me, we were just talking about this, and I was saying it's like specific human optimization is what it is. He's like, yeah, SHO.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to start
What'd
using
you call
it.
Specific
Human optimization.
Okay.
So you're like, you're optimizing for a very specific person. Like, who is that person?
Yeah.
Who are your favorite customers? Why?
Yeah.
Why are they your favorite? Like, what are all the things? Like, not just they pay me on time.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's important, obviously. But, why do you like working with them? Do they, is it a personal relationship? Is it not a personal relationship? Because not everybody wants that, right? It's so what do you want out of the relationship?
Right. And you're able to deliver that type of SHO by focusing in on...
Is that a officially coined term here?
I think it's
I don't think so. I think I just coined it.
You made it up? All right.
We should trademark it.
Have you used it outside your home office?
What's that?
Have you used that term outside your home office?
I just came up with it yesterday. I mean, I've been saying this for a long time.
All right,
like talking about this thing, but I never.
We should include
said
this
it.
in the
That's
episode
a
notes.
snappy marketing line. Can I use that?
I just wrote it down.
Yeah.
Perfect. You're welcome.
We'll throw it in the title of the episode.
So,
we'll make it a
good.
thing.
Okay.
I was going to ask, are any of these manufacturers or job shops using video on their website? Shops or video from inside their shop, or one where one of their components is in a machine or something else, a car, a plane, a drone, something like that.
Yeah. We use video when we build sites a lot of times. Again, it depends on like what tier they're in. We have like 3 packages for 3 kind of different levels of. It's like where you are in your journey of your marketing journey. So yeah, video's great. And the shops I think that are pulling out their cell phone and taking video stuff and posting on LinkedIn, like they're doing really well.
Right.
People actually see those videos and they're like, oh, I need somebody like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be as polished as one might think.
No, not at all.
So that gets me to like the authenticity part of like your SHO platform.
Yes.
So when you describe that, I've been leaning more into my own term, but it's just a word, authenticity, so I can't really, it's not that special.
I hate to break, you did not invent that word.
I'm pretty sure that is correct. So, but I think as, search engines try to cut through all the artificial intelligence gobbledygook that's coming out, that the more authentic, and by authentic I mean like boring, strange, straightforward, but straightforward's the key, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be exciting that I think people will connect. So, I mean, is that, you kind of buy into that, or is that something a little bit different from your SHO platform?
No, for sure. I mean, you can tell when you're reading something that was generated by ChatGPT. It's pretty easy to tell.
Yeah. And that's really, the AI tools is the biggest change over the last 2 years since since we last spoke to you. How have you integrated that into your approach with these shops?
Yeah, we use it, but not for copywriting.
Right.
So bad at copywriting. It's great as like a brainstorming partner. I think of it like we actually just rewatched the Iron Man movies, and like how Tony kind of interacts with
Jarvis,
is like kind of how I do it. Like you're just kind of asking it questions. You can feed it like transcripts of, so I record our setup calls, so I'll like feed it transcripts. You can also, there's a setting to make sure that it doesn't share that stuff.
Oh wow, okay.
With the broader GPT. So yeah, it's more of like it's a good brainstorming tool. It's a good, it helps you like organize things, find things, come up with ideas. I said brainstorming already. Yeah, I mean, those are the main things that we use it for. We'll like write an article for somebody and then have it take pieces of the article and break it up into like social media posts.
Oh wow.
But you really have to coach it. Like you can't just say, here, give me 10 social media posts. You have to say like pull out 10 sections and don't change any of the words. Like just take the things out. Yeah. So it's a constant battle. And I have a mastermind group that I'm part of with other agency owners, and one of my friends is like the AI evangelist, and she was saying yesterday like it depends on which one is behaving that day. like the different AIs, like Cloud and the Google one that I can't think of the name of it right now, but Gemini.
Oh wow. They're right over
Gemini.
there.
So it's just funny because like they don't behave every day.
So have you come across like websites where like everything's done by artificial intelligence? I shouldn't say everything, but it's heavily
It's more
used.
social media.
Gotcha.
I see social media posts all the time, and I'm like,
yeah.
I think I see fake people on Facebook.
oh yes, and they are on LinkedIn now too. Like for a while, it was just Facebook and Instagram. I felt like the bots would come at me all the time, but like I've seen a lot on LinkedIn lately, and I've been reporting them too because they're like impersonating my customers. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And you can tell because you go to their profile and they have 0 followers,
Right. Yeah,
or like
that's
1 follower or whatever. Like you can tell.
Yeah, but they pop up. All of a sudden, you should like this person, whatever it is. You should meet them, and you open up. There's one person, and
So is LinkedIn the main platform that you have your clients work with?
Yeah.
A social media channel, I should say?
Yeah. If they're trying to hire, Facebook is actually really good for that.
Right.
Kind of depends on what their what their market is and who they're going after, but typically LinkedIn is the most important.
Yeah. Do you ever use Instagram in terms of have you worked with specialty like product oriented manufacturers where maybe that platform is a little bit more visual might make sense?
I don't work with a lot of like product manufacturers. I mean,
Gotcha.
they're making components, but they're like
So mainly
custom.
components. Yeah.
So typically not. Sometimes though, I mean, there is a big growing LinkedIn community. I mean, or Instagram. Like I follow you guys on Instagram mostly is when I see your stuff because that's where I'm. That's like my guilty pleasure scrolling thing. Like, I try to avoid LinkedIn outside of business hours, right?
Yeah,
right.
So
we would like you to follow us, though.
I do.
On all of them?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I see them on Instagram mostly because that's when I'm like consuming.
Yeah. We have a big Threads presence.
Threads.
Yeah. Some people love it.
Yes.
Like I have people that love it, and that's great.
There you go. When you're talking with your clients, have you worked with any of them where lead generation is important?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of at the end of the day that's what they want.
Kind of
right?
hand in hand after the brand build.
Yeah, and we do offer some ongoing stuff. I'm working on kind of building that up a little bit more. Yeah.
What are some main tools for that? And Andy, you can jump in as well because I think that's a softball for you.
Right. We're going to talk after the podcast.
Why don't you share with a bigger audience at large?
So with our programmatic advertising products,
you just want to describe how you see the world of lead generation for people in manufacturing.
So we started offering these products earlier this year. We're using various softwares, obviously, to generate. We're not generating leads. We're putting the opportunity in front, running native ads for people to consent, fill out a form and consent to be contacted. So they're pretty good programs, and you're not looking for that many leads, right? So people got to process them. We learned that right away. You're not going to go sell a 50 lead gen program. We do have a couple actually that do that, but they're big companies and they can funnel through those leads. Most of the smaller manufacturers, job shops, they're looking for 5 to 10 leads a month, and they need someone to follow up with them to do that. So. It's getting more and more popular. They're hard to operate, those programs. You think it's going to be easy, but it's really not. So
because does it tie in with their CRM and all the thing?
We do not do that.
No. This is actually like getting digital media stuff from them. So we need ads, we need artwork, and getting that all placed in the within our own software to make sure it's visible and pops up, in that specific space when it allows.
Right.
So it's not just, hey, why don't you send over your artwork? Just be done with it. We need the artwork done like 4 or 5 different ways, maybe.
Yeah.
So
and we make those. We've made graphics and we've done ad placements for clients. We do that.
But I think I'm sorry, but this isn't really about us. But the one advantage that we're able to do those leads is we have such great first-party data.
Yeah.
So we could really drill down for a small manufacturer looking for a specific audience. We have a pretty good advantage over most.
That
being able to guide them in that direction.
I tell my clients that all the time too. Like industry publications have way better, better rates and better target audience than like doing a Google ad or like a LinkedIn ad, right?
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. But I'm not just saying that. Like that's legit true, and that's the the approach that we always use too.
But I having talked with some of these fabricators, if they're doing digital marketing, the extent they're doing it may be just Google AdWords.
Yeah, which I would say is a waste. I mean, they're going to end up with a bunch of crap.
You would be shocked how much money some of these companies spend on Google.
I know.
We did a kind of informal survey last year, had the sales team out, and we found anywhere from about $1,000 a month all the way up to $48,000 a month a company was spending on Google. Yeah,
burning money.
That's half. I can't do the math.
I have better things for you to spend that money on.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's something to it, though, right? Especially if you're wanting to kind of cut through all the other, digital clutter.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the other benefit too of going with an industry publication, aside from being super targeted, is like you also can develop that relationship with them and get press placements and
everyone wants to be Dan's best friend.
Right, I'm sure. I know. I want to be Dan's best friend too.
Until they get to know me.
It's true. Right? They want access to that publication. So it's really interesting if we're talking about some other stuff, some of the programmatic that's down the road that people don't even realize it's out there, the out-of-home stuff, and it's just ads pop up. You know. They pop up at O'Hare, the baggage claim.
Oh, my God.
It's really scary stuff.
It is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you're in New Orleans, other thing pops up.
Yeah, right.
Baggage claim.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
If you happen to be watching social media this week. Anyway. So, what is the lifespan of a manufacturer's initial website changes? The reason I ask is that inevitably there's kind of this, you see a website's been relaunched, they've uploaded 6 blog posts, the same entry date. You visit a year from now and it's the same thing. So like, I know they can't dedicate as much time to it, but how long should it be before a refresh even might be called in? Because they're not doing it themselves, but if they're going to rely on someone else to do that. Do you have thoughts related to that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how well it was done to begin with, right?
Yeah.
If it's a crappy website, then it probably needs to be redone immediately.
Yeah.
But if it's done, if it's well done and it adequately represents the image that you're trying to put out there, it can last for a while. It's always good to add, press releases and new information. Anytime you get new equipment or maybe you're hiring a new high-level position or bringing on a partner, getting a certification, all of those things. I mean, anytime you get those, you can update your website. It's good to do new pictures occasionally because you get, different team members coming in, and good to get new faces. And yes, faces. Faces are important to have on your website.
Yeah.
Well, and video is king now too, so I'm sure there's a lot more companies understanding that, making the effort to hire, firms to come in and shoot content for them.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you mention a video like cell phone video, I think it's much more natural for a younger person to think that's not that big a deal. I can see somebody my age. I'll write something, leave me alone. But I mean, everything you talked about can be done with a video update almost. So instead of a press release, they're just kind of posting something to LinkedIn, say.
Yeah.
Notifying people of that change.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've seen some of your clients kind of react to in a warm way? Kind of accepting of that? Or is that even a challenge with younger people?
Of doing that? So, I mean, most of my clients actually are kind of, 40s-ish.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
They're not
totally
on the way
open
out.
to, I gotcha.
So most of them don't, it's not a big deal for them. I have a lot of them that are pretty good actually at posting stuff regularly. Just depends, and depends on how busy they are with other stuff, how good they are at delegating. You have to be really good at delegating, and it's a practice. Delegating is hard. It is very hard. It is a practice. It takes a long time to get good at, and I'm still learning.
No, I think that's anybody that would kind of act as a surrogate psychiatrist for the industry. That's something they would point out very quickly because that that's one of the reasons why they probably have gray hair sooner than they should.
Yeah, totally. You're trying to do everything. You can't do everything.
Right, but they're the owner, right? They're the creator. They started this business, so
I know,
they have their
I get
hands
it.
in it. It's tough to let things go and delegate. It's
Trust
really hard.
me,
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
Like, I know. I mean, doing things for clients, especially, like, you don't want something to go out that's like not, the way you would do it, and not
right.
Because a lot of companies think just if they put out a video that's going to do the work, it's got to be there's got to be quality behind it.
Depends on what the video's for.
Yeah.
If it's just a LinkedIn update, just like do a selfie of yourself, same way you got on your plate this week.
Sure.
Like people like that stuff.
Walking into the show.
Yeah, just walking into the show today.
We try to get Andy to do that all the time.
Yeah. I'm gonna start.
How to treat a major cut on the shop floor without notifying OSHA? Yeah, we don't want that on there.
There's another write-up.
What are some things companies should not do with their websites that you see maybe occurring?
Don't use WordPress. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, sure.
Didn't you say that? I thought
Until
you
they
said that
sponsor
before.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, simple is better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like simplicity is good. Being able to make changes on it is important. Don't use AI generated content.
Yeah.
Don't be boring.
Yeah. So
Life's too short to be boring.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Don't. Was it your first presentation? We talked about that. You made at the Grand Rapids event.
Oh yeah, marketing doesn't have to suck.
Yeah. There you go.
Well,
So-
I'm doing it at FABTECH. this
Same
year.
title?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
there you go.
upgraded it. It's a lot better.
Really?
I did it last year too.
We hired you for FABTECH, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Rick, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah,
Well,
see you guys in a month.
What kind of changes are you making? I mean, I don't want to give away too much of the
Yeah,
changes that
yeah.
you're making to it, but
I really want to make it a little bit more interactive this year. More of like a workshop, less of me talking about my experience.
right.
So yeah, got a little worksheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During our first conversation, you made a point to say that networking is pretty. I like the way that you're waiting to see, like, what the hell did I say?
I know. I'm like, I haven't listened to this podcast in a long time.
Yeah. you made a comment that people underestimate the power of networking.
Yeah.
As
totally.
a tool.
Yeah.
And could you go into that in terms of maybe what you might have coached your clients to try to do at the most basic sense, and if they had ones that were ready to take that next step and really kind of get themselves out there?
Yeah, just this week I sent out emails to several of my clients and was like, you need to go on this podcast. Like I have lots of friends at podcasts actually in the manufacturing space, but I was am I
Yeah,
okay.
you're good.
Depends on the name.
I'm good friends with Jim Mayer, the Manufacturing Culture Podcast, and a lot of my clients, they have really great teams, and they've done a really good job of like building up their teams, and a couple of them do some really unique things to attract and retain talent, which is really hard to do these days. I recommended that they go on his show and just talk about some of the things that they did. And I coordinated a meetup with them on Monday, and so he's going to go on the show. I think I have a couple of them that said yes now. So, yeah.
So, and really when it comes to that, it's not even the audience that knows the podcast. It's the ability of that person who is on the podcast to then share that.
Yeah.
Like with their own kind of network or anything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, any chance to get your name out there more and, tag more people in your posts. Like, you get into their network, right? Like, if you tag somebody else, then you're going to show up on someone else's feed that doesn't know who you are. Like, that's magic. Why doesn't everybody do that?
Ooh, it's magic. There you go. So, at the time we last spoke, you were working with a client that was really getting things off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long that lasted, but I'm always intrigued about like new business startups.
Yeah.
Was that a challenge for you as opposed to working with an existing client, or was it kind of fresh and made it a little bit easier?
Yeah, so I typically don't work with startups. Like if they're just starting up. The client that we were talking about before, I think we had done. Actually, I think he came to one of my workshops.
Really? Okay.
So that was like the extent of our kind of relationship. And I haven't checked in with them in a while, so I should.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I typically don't work with startups because they don't know who their market is yet.
Right.
You know, they don't know who their ideal customers are, and the most effective way for them to spend their time is networking. I mean, there's a reason that they decided to start a shop. So they have, you know, experience, and through that experience, they probably have a lot of, you know, people that either would know somebody that they might, you know, that might be a good customer, or
or potential customer, right? That's they're going to get a referral from the network.
100%. I mean, referrals are still the best way.
Yeah.
The best lead gen. A referral is the highest form of lead gen.
Right. It comes with a stamp of approval,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
I'm trusting you enough to recommend you to Dan
Yes.
to build
100%.
his website, his own personal website.
For sure. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I encourage them to come to my workshops and, you know, and learn about how to market themselves. And I definitely encourage them to, you know, use their face, like put themselves out there. But like, come back to me in a couple of years when you've had time to really figure out what you want to do and who you want to serve and how.
Yeah. It's like Dan said, that word he invented about authenticity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you're never going to forget it.
Yeah.
Right.
That word that's been around forever. From your standpoint, you have a lot of connections within the manufacturing industry and other people not only promoting their own business but also working for others, promoting their business. What has networking got you over the years?
Everything. I haven't run ads for my company.
Right.
Sorry, I haven't. I haven't even done any PR for my own company, but I mean, this is PR. This is what, like, doing these podcasts has been great. I can't tell you how many people come to me and say, "Hey, I heard you on the Fabricator." Like,
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I get tons of people that reach out.
I heard you talk to Dan.
I did. Yeah, I talked to Dan about authenticity.
Yeah, FABTECH would be a great audience for you.
I know. Yeah, it's great. I'm trying to think. Did I get any leads from FABTECH last year? But it's like you said. You know, I just, it's something for me to talk about on LinkedIn. It's another indicator to them that I know what I'm talking about and that I'm a trustworthy person. And you know, like that's what you need to do that's what your marketing should be doing for you.
Over the last few years, have you seen more shops kind of wise up to like their own digital marketing efforts before you even get to the point of them reaching out to you?
Sometimes, and that's actually, I was going to say that earlier. That's part of the challenge. Like, some of them, you know, have tried and just not had good results, and you know, they just either tried to hire a nephew or cousin or whatever to do it that doesn't know anything about the industry, or some agency, you know, that doesn't know anything about manufacturing, which happens a lot, sadly. Or, you know, it's just like, job shops are a unique type of business. They have unique needs, and the standard approach doesn't work. You know, so like you said, they're spending thousands of dollars on Google ads. Like, why? To send them to your crappy website that you haven't updated in 10 years that says that you know, have machines that you don't even have anymore or whatever. Like,
there's a lot of whys there.
Yeah, why?
They don't know. Right? Or they've been told, like you said, they've been told by someone to do that.
Right.
They're not marketers. They are operators.
Right, which is the hardest part for them. I mean, they don't know what they don't know. They're not experts, so it's hard for them to make those decisions. Yeah. Which is why the process that I use is magic. It really is, because you know, that they pay for a 2-hour consult with me. You know, and in that 2-hour consult, like, it's a very low. You know, it's under $1,000, so they can put it on a credit card and not worry about it. Yeah. And in those 2 hours, you know, we get to know each other, and I give them suggestions, and I really get to understand their business and their goals and all the things. And then they're like, oh, okay, okay, I think this person actually knows. Well, and the fact that I'm like, I specialize in working with these small shops, right? I have success stories that I can share. Right. I have, customers that will vouch for me, right?
You have referrals.
Yeah, I do.
Built in.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add, Gareth? Excuse me. Garth.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't hear,
Party on, Garth.
Yeah, I know, man. The stories I could tell, how many times I've heard that. Yeah, right. And Garth Brooks.
Oh, there you go.
We don't have to talk about this anymore.
Yeah.
Respect any man that wears a cowboy hat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris Gaines. Remember Chris Gaines?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks
it's nice
for
to
having
have
me
you
again.
Can't wait for number 3.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
When's that going to be, 120th?
2 years?
I guess 2 more years. You don't know your cycle.
26?
Yeah.
We got a long list of guests coming.
There you go.
Yes, actually, I wanted to just one more thing.
Yes. Go ahead.
I have a new client that I am in love with, like seriously in love with, that's going to be you're recording in Orlando. Demi Knight Clark.
Yes, yeah. I've been in contact with her, yeah.
Yes, she is amazing. She is trying to get the message out to people outside of the industry that like welding is cool, and she went to Harvard and is like super smart, and also a welder, and this is a career that is like viable and great, and
she's connected with the right people, and she told me her story about she's established career, right? But she wanted to learn how to weld the right way instead of like kind of skipping processes and feeling entitled to get into a certain level. And she's like partnered with like Lincoln Electric, and she's worked with someone we've had on the podcast before, Nate Bowman, and she's doing really great advocacy for the industry. So how are you working with her?
So I heard her speak last year at I think she was a keynote at the Empowering Women in Industry. It was in Chicago last year, and I just loved her vibe, like everything. Her talk was amazing, talking about welding in space and cool stuff. And we just have been connected, and she reached out a couple months ago and was like, hey, I am like all over the place. Like she's got, she's kind of everything under a consulting business right now that has like nothing to do with what she's doing now, which is this whole welding. She's doing these like 1 week welding certification courses that like basically they take everything that you need to get certified and bring it down into a week. So you can like be job ready within a week. And she's partnered, like I said, with the Goodwill. What's their
I know what
development?
You're talking about.
Yeah, they're
they actually have an arm outside of their basic kind of retail operations.
Yeah,
where they skill people up.
Skills development.
Yeah.
So she's doing some just really cool stuff, and she's writing a book and doing a ton of speaking, and just doesn't have any sort of website or like hub for all of her marketing stuff. So people are always like, where do I find you? Where do I find this? And she's like, I don't know. I don't have this. So we're working on her website right now, and we are planning to have it live before FABTECH. So
awesome.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. We'll look for that.
Super, super pumped. She's just
look
so
forward to
cool.
that conversation.
Now we have to talk to her.
There you go.
You're ready to go with her?
You better.
Yeah. I'm working on FABTECH. We're still at IMTS.
I know. That's why I said she was like, I still don't know what time yet, and I was like, I just established this time like 2 weeks ago. So.
Right. Yeah. We'll get there, Demi.
We'll get there. Yeah.
All right. Where can people find out more about you?
marketingmetal.com.
Stay sharp.
Emily Joanne Wilkins on LinkedIn.
Just show off all the stickers.
Got some cool stickers.
Can I put this up there? That's got a naughty word in it.
Yeah.
It's got a naughty word in it.
This one has a naughty word too.
Oh. I think we're all adults.
I swear a lot. I'm a sailor. I can't.
There you go.
Help it.
Oh, right. You are a sailor. We talked
Emily
about that
the sailor
last time
woman.
too.
Oh yeah, literally. We did talk about that.
Yeah.
You actually
literally
sail
a
boats.
sailor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I have my own little sailboat that I race.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
With people on it too, right? If I remember right.
Yeah.
Not like a single thing.
Yeah. It's I usually have one crew.
You do like a Mackinac? Did we talk about that?
I haven't done the MAC race, but I've done the Queen and Trip Cup, which is or the Queen's Cup is like what people know, but it's Milwaukee to West Michigan.
Look at you.
So I've done that a couple times. Yeah, on a big boat.
Sunfish.
That wasn't on my boat. Yeah. That was like a crew of 8 people. I did that a couple years, and it's like right during Summerfest.
Yeah.
Super, super cool. I saw
Summerfest fun.
Saw Northern Lights, got chased by a thunderstorm. Just so cool being out there. I love that. I know it's not for everybody, but.
Well, certainly not me. So
we'll save more of that for the third conversation.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us. It was good to catch up.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
it was
you.
a blast.
If you have any comments, criticisms, complaints, send them to Garth at podcast@fmamfg.org.
Yeah.
And be sure to rate, review, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And I think that's it.
Yeah, or
that
roast.
It?
The roast is. You've been talking about roasting
roast
us.
Please. Be like anything. We can handle it. At least I can. I'm not sure about Garth. All right.
I don't know about
that's
that
all I
roast.
got. Thanks.
Thank you.
The Fabricator Podcast is a production of Fabricators and Manufacturers Association, located in Elgin, Illinois. The show is hosted by Dan Davis and the staff of FMA Communications. The podcast is produced by Gareth Slager and recorded and edited by Griffin Hammond and Dana Weicker. Sales support provided by Andy Flando. Additional production support by Elizabeth Gavin, Mike Owens, Billy Culpa, Pat Simon, Brandon Geyer, and me, Sarah Spring. Email us at podcast@fmamfg.org. Thank you for listening.